Okay, Amelia. So this is the book I was telling you about. It's The Tiger Rising by Katie Camillo. She's an awesome, awesome author. I don't know if you have Mrs. Pierce, but she loves to read Edward Tulane, which is another one of her great novels. So today in class, we're going to be reading chapters, at least chapter one. I think that's what I'm going to do, chapter one. And each of you has a copy of this book in the classroom, and I'm going to teach you how to mark up a text, which basically means you're writing in the book. I know, your whole life. Don't write in books, but I'm going to teach you how to mark up a text because in preparation for middle school, it's a good skill to have. So since you don't have your book, I want to read chapter one to you so that you don't fall behind. Okay? That morning, after he discovered the tiger, Rob went and stood under the Kentucky Star Motel sign and waited for the school bus just like it was any other day. Which is kind of odd when you think about it, because if you found a tiger in the woods by where you live, do you think you would just act normal? Because I don't think I would. I'm just saying. The Kentucky Star sign was composed of a yellow neon star that rose and fell over a piece of blue neon in the shape of the state of Kentucky. Rob liked the sign. He harbored a dim but abiding notion that it would bring him good luck. Finding the tiger had been luck. He knew that. He had been out in the woods behind the Kentucky Star Motel, way out in the woods, not really looking for anything, just wandering, hoping that maybe he would get lost or eaten by a bear and not have to go to school ever again. So we have to stop here for a minute. We have to say to ourselves, why would Rob want to be eaten by a bear instead of going to school? So, as a reader, we should be saying, there's trouble brewing. There's obviously something going on at school that has him worried. That's when he saw the old Beauchamp gas station building, all boarded up and tumbling down. Next to it, there was a cage. And inside the cage, unbelievably, there was a tiger. A real life, very large tiger pacing back and forth. He was orange and gold and so bright, it was like staring at the sun itself, angry and trapped in a cage. It was early morning, and it looked like it might rain. It had been raining every day for almost 2 weeks. The sky was gray and the air was thick and still. Fog was hugging the ground. To Rob, it seemed as if the tiger was some magic trick rising out of the mist. He was so astounded at his discovery, so amazed, that he stood. He just stared at it, but only for a minute. You see, he was afraid to look at the tiger for too long, afraid that the tiger would disappear. He stared, and then he turned and ran back into the woods toward the Kentucky Star. And the whole way home, while his brain doubted what he had seen, his heart beat out the truth to him. Tiger, tiger, tiger. That was what Rob thought about as he stood beneath the Kentucky Star sign and waited for the bus. The tiger. He did not think about the rash on his legs, the itchy red blisters that snaked their way into his shoes. His father said that it would be less likely to itch if he just didn't think about it. And he did not think about his mother. He hadn't thought about her since the morning of her funeral. So we're seeing him kind of have like a memory moment. And now we know that he doesn't have a mom. So we know he's afraid to go to school or something's going on with school because he wants to be eaten and mauled by a bear instead of going. We know that his legs are covered in some type of itchy, blistery rash. We know that his mom has passed away. The morning of her funeral, he couldn't stop crying, the great heaving sobs that made his chest and stomach hurt. His father, watching him, standing beside him, had started to cry too. They were both dressed up in suits that day. His father's suit was too small, and when he slapped Rob to make him stop crying, he ripped a hole underneath the arm of his jacket. Why would a father hit their son for crying at their mother's funeral? We gotta be careful. We gotta watch this relationship. There ain't no point in crying, the father had said afterward. Crying ain't going to give her back. It had been 6 months since that day, 6 months since he and his father had moved from Jacksonville to Lister, and Rob had not cried since, not once. The final thing he did not think about that morning was getting onto the bus. He specifically did not think about Norton and Billy Threemonger waiting for him like chained and starved guard dogs eager to attack. So we might have a bullying situation here. Rob had a way of not thinking about things. He imagined himself as a suitcase that was too full, like the one that he had packed when they left Jacksonville after the funeral. He made all his feelings go inside the suitcase. He stuffed them in tight and then sat on the suitcase and locked it shut. That was the way he not thought about things. Sometimes it was hard to keep the suitcase shut, but now he had something to put on top of it, the secret of the tiger. So he waited for the bus under the Kentucky Star sign, and as the first drops of rain fell from the sullen sky, Rob imagined the tiger on top of his suitcase, blinking his golden eyes, sitting proud and strong, unaffected by all the not thoughts inside, straining to come out. That's all chapter 1. So what we're really seeing here is that Rob, for a young boy, has a lot of issues he's dealing with, complex things. And I'm thinking that we really need to watch Rob and his relationship with his father. The Threemonger brothers seem to be bullying him, or at least that's what's implied. Haven't heard anything about friends yet. He's living at a hotel. Not even a hotel, I apologize. A motel, like a side of the road motel. So I don't think he has a lot of money. He doesn't have a home. We don't know what happened to his mom. All we know is that she passed away. So we've learned a lot about Rob. And, in a 5th grade book, you're not necessarily going to have the author explicitly say it to you. Sometimes you're going to have to read a little bit in between the lines, so to speak. Think about what you're reading. Slow yourself down and interpret the text a little bit more. So tomorrow we'll do chapter 2. You'll let me know when you get your book, and then you can read on your own. But for now, that's what we'll do. And I hope that you'll enjoy this book. I know I love The Tiger Rising. See you soon.